Welcome to the European Challenger Series playoffs, brought to you thanks in part to our friends at Coca-Cola. I'm David Freak Turley, with me is Aiden Cyrene Moon, and we don't have as nearly cool of a name as Deficia Joe.
No, but that interview desk, if it shocks a D-man, is that she-man.
There you go.
She-man interview combo. I like it.
It's powerful. It's strong. Tonight we wrap up the European Challenger Playoffs quarterfinals with a best-of-3 matchup between Reason Gaming and MOU Sports, formerly known as Meet Your Makers.
Yeah, and, it's time. Check out that bracket.
Check out the bracket, guys. Of course, only the top 3 teams are going to qualify for the summer promotion tournament, and after sending Team Coast Gold packing yesterday, Denial Esports advances to the semis, and they're going to face the Series 1 champs of Cloud9 Eclipse.
And tonight's winners move on to the semifinal bracket as well, where they will meet the #1 Ninjas in Pajamas.
Of course, when you're arguing game knowledge with your friends, you can always set the record straight by going to levolesports.com.
You'll find stats, scores, schedules, and more under the Leagues and Tournaments tab near the top of the page.
So now let's break down tonight's quarterfinal match, Reason Gaming versus MOU Sports. Now, these two teams last met during the round of 8, where Reason 2-0'd the Mice in one of their best performances of the season.
Yeah, and it certainly was. Trashy cleaned up in the jungle with an unbelievable 13, 3, and 25 in that match on Lee Sin and Elise. And while BarneyD supported on the shoulders of the Chain Warden with 19 assists in those back-to-back games, he went an epic 3, 8, and 38 on Thresh. And the lowest KDA of that matchup was Sencux in the middle. I love that Talon that he brought out, but he did have a respectable 4.43 KDA, telling you something about their cohesion in that series.
Yeah, even the worst performing member plays quite well overall. Now, of course, the godlike play of the round of 8 didn't hold up against the Ninjas in Pajamas. Reason Gaming were reduced to mere mortals in the face of the Series 2 champs.
Yeah, true. NIP showed why they're the champs in the semifinals. Reason Gaming was only able to rack up 9 kills over 2 games. And with their slow and methodical play, the Ninjas were able to contain Trashy in the jungle, leaving him with a 1.0 KDA in the matchup.
So MOU Sports is going to want to kind of replicate that and contain Trashy and keep him down in this matchup.
Yeah, exactly. And in that round of 8 matchup versus Reason Gaming, they were so outplayed in the jungle, and it was like bringing a knife to a gunfight. It was really outmatched. And last time Mokate had the lowest KDA on his team with a 1.1 against Trashy's monster 12.67. And he has been replaced by Kanoki coming into this game, and he'll get to start here in the playoffs, and they really need some fresh play at that jungle to amp up their game. He's coming in replacing Mokate. Not really huge shoes to fill.
Sure.
But I want to see how Kanoki goes up against Trashy, who's like number 16 in Challenger, and he's proven himself that he is the carry jungler that Reason needs.
Exactly, and so I want to see how that plays out, because we actually just saw a little while ago in our match yesterday with Team Coast Gold, they brought in Airwalks, who was number 15 in Challenger, great jungle player, and you saw that team have a lot more life in them. They nearly took a game off Denial, who's an incredibly strong team overall. And so Meet Your Makers, a team with a lot of LCS experience, a lot of good players in that roster. I personally really like Kubon on the top lane. I like Mockler as AD carry. And now with a much stronger jungler to hold them up, I want to see how well that plays together. It's kind of unfortunate, like Meet Your Makers, that lineup have been together for so long. Sharu's off the lineup, TakeFun's now in the mid lane. But I want to see if everyone else kind of steps up, because Libic as well, their support, has been having a bit of a rough split as well.
Yeah, so now the MOU Sports with the new lineup, new members coming in mid-jungle. Saw TakeFun, like you said, had a very good Gragas game. I think he went 6, 3, and 10. And that was probably the best score on his team.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah.
Like, everybody else didn't have a great performance. That was a loss, too, where he goes 6, 3, and 10. So just playing to their strengths there. And they picked most of the same champions every time. I think only one person changed champions between games, and that was actually Mokate switching from Elise to Lee Sin. In the top lane, it was Jax both games, then Gragas, then Sivir, then Annie, both games.
Yeah.
They lost the first one, and they said, all right, let's just do the same thing with a different jungler, and it didn't work out.
Yeah, and so what's kind of interesting about this, though, is so I think it's unfortunate that MOU Sports ran the same comp both times. You accurately kind of point that one out. And it's like, yeah, it's a little silly. So now these teams could look at each other and say, okay, Reason didn't change a single player. They kept the entirely same lineup, which means that all the bans that MOU Sports ran last time, which is like the Wukong, which is Trashy's most played jungler, the Yasuo, which was, of course, removed away from Sencux, and the Renekton, to try to give Kubon some room on Jax. Like, okay, those bans might stay around. But at the same time, as MOU Sports, do you switch your comp up now and say, you know what, Renekton ban not as important. You know what, the Wukong ban, honestly, I'm not a fan of, because Wukong's such a weak early game jungler compared to things like Lee Sin, Elise. Like, let him play the low pressure jungler, because that's how NIP won.
Yeah.
NIP beat these guys by giving them Wukong and then having no ganks fall through.
Yeah, it was a very slow and methodical game from NIP. Just rotating perfectly, and also playing very safe.
Yeah.
Saying, we know that we have more team cohesion in the late game than you do.
Yeah.
We're not going to let Trashy get any openings and get his foot in the game. And it was very great. And also, I like how, like I said, everybody played the same champion from game 1 to game 2 for Mouse Sports, except for the jungler, and they kicked him from the team.
Yeah.
No switching champions here. See if they pick the same lineup again.
Gotta play standard. Now, this is what I like right here. This Diana ban is aimed at Kubon. He's been spamming that in solo queue, full AP, like Death Cap Void Staff style. So unfortunately, we don't get to see Burst Diana come out from Kubon, but I was like hoping to see it. I was like, oh man, it's exciting. Pulls the ban, which means I like this. Reason have done their research. They checked everyone's profile, saw he's been spamming it, removed it.
Oh, you should. It's the playoffs. You have to know who you're up against. You can't just walk in blindly and say, all right, I don't know this team. I don't know what they play. We're just going to play better than them. But you don't know what they do.
Yeah.
So I love that research there.
So you want to know. But what's cool about this, though, is that Kubon still has Jax, Ryze, and Aurelia as his other top most played in solo queue. We can see those come out. And I actually want to know if a Ryze ban comes through because, or sorry, a Renekton ban. And it doesn't. It's a Kha'Zix ban. I like this because if Renekton comes through, Ryze beats it. If Renekton doesn't come through, Jax beats it against pretty much any other matchup. So Kubon Ryze, I think, is likely here.
I like how his name is KonDziSan. I think is on a live service. He's Konzi Senpai.
Oh, okay.
So now he's San. He's among his peers. He's no longer Senpai here.
Among his peers on Mouse Sports. So the Renekton first pick does come through. beansu. He's been very consistent for his team. 4.4 KDA for him across the lineup. And ooh, the Wukong steal comes through. All right. So they don't want to get Trashy Wukong, but they take the pick, not the ban, to get rid of it.
Yeah.
With Makwe playing Lucian.
I like that. Now it's up to Trashy, who his best performances have been on Lee Sin, which is now banned by them. And it's also on Wukong, which has been taken away. So he's going to have to fall back on something like an Elise, which is still open. But they're going to wait on that because why not secure something else, like a support for your team?
BarneyD is just a gigantic Thresh player, plays it all the time. So they hover on Morgana. I actually think Morgana's best matchup is Thresh, just from my experiences in solo queue, with players worse than these guys, to be fair. But like everything is so telegraphed from Thresh, they're pretty easy to black shield. Yeah. And anytime it goes for harass, you're going to be taking all 3 ticks of the puddle, and it's going to make your life really pain. So I really like Morgana into Thresh as an advantage for Mouse Sports. I actually really love the fact that they're playing Morgana with Wukong, because you can't remove him during Cyclone anymore.
Exactly. I love that pick, and you were talking about how you think it's the best matchup. I completely agree with you. With Annie, it's kind of like, oh, instant stun. You have to black shield preemptively.
Yeah.
And if the Annie jukes you, then you're like, all right, I'm just going to wait it out. Whereas Thresh is like, all right, here comes the hook. You see it. And my favorite / hate it when it happens to me is you put down the box, and then he black shields and just walks through it. Just like nothing happened.
Breaks all the walls for the team.
Yeah.
Oh, made it happen here. Morgana does come through. Interestingly enough, though, from Mouse Sports, Kubon's going for Shen here in the lineup. So a very defensive team right now for these guys. You've got the Shen ulti, the Morgana shields, and whatnot. So I want to know what's the high damage backline here for Mouse Sports, or the high like heavy wave clear, like maybe a Ziggs, to hold up with a Shen split pushing late game.
I don't know, because TakeFun is a relatively unknown player. He's played a lot of Gragas when we last saw him. It's possible it could be that. LeBlanc is still banned, so he can't pick that up. Nidalee, we've seen that a lot today.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much it would synergize with this composition because it's not poke-oriented. It's more
they have no wave
It's
clear.
like engage, save, Shen, maybe Orianna. We need something like Ziggs, I actually think is the best choice, like you said that. We'll have to see. And that is a great idea to steal it away. Because Reason Gaming's sitting there thinking the same thing. They're like, all right.
What are they looking for?
What are they looking for? Let's take away the Ziggs.
I like this. So Ziggs comes through the Elise for the incredible early jungle pressure. I like this from Trashy. Last time we saw him on Elise, I believe, at least when they were playing these guys, he went 5-2 and 13 on it. So Trashy's going to have a good future for him. I mean, honestly, it's overall a very aggressive early game team. Yeah, Thresh, Caitlyn, bottom lane, great. Renekton top lane is great. Ziggs has wave clear for days. All these lanes able to push. I want to see how Mouse Sports holds up to heavy early game aggression.
Yeah, like you said, all across the board for Reason. Early game, but the Ziggs is going to help them out in the late.
True.
Which is the big thing. If they can get an early game lead and start sieging up, Ziggs is just devastating. And then you clear the waves, you get up to the turret, and then it's like, all right, we're ahead, everybody engage. And you just go straight in, possibly get some picks or poke them off with the Ziggs bombs. Now Mouse Sports taking their sweet time with this one. And yeah, the Orianna, because they lack the wave clear.
Yeah.
It's the big thing here. And you need something that will counter the wave clear of Ziggs in a siege moment.
Oh.
Wow. Okay.
Good.
All right.
There's the damage.
Okay.
Now, this is risky for Mousesports. They've got no wave clear to speak of almost at all aside from Lucian, basically. They're hoping for like some incredible wombo combos.
Yeah. And it's pretty short range in terms of clear, which is the big weakness of this team. Katarina doesn't clear unless she's in melee range.
She'll get hit if she does.
Yes, exactly. Very risky. We're going to have to see how it turns out. There's a lot of things that can stop the Katarina ultimate, though. Everybody on the team can stop it except for Caitlyn.
Yep.
So last picking that into, you know what it's going to be up against, which is...
For what it's worth, even though you're right that Reason can stop it with about 5 abilities on their team right here, most of them are like unreliable or hard to access. So you've got both Hook and Cocoon are skill shots that will be blocked by the first target hit, so they're unlikely to stop Katarina.
Black Shield.
Yep, I forgot about that. The Black Shield's going to work with Katarina and block any of it anyway. So Ziggs, as pretty much the only high magic damage source, has to break Black Shield and then set up a CC from someone like Renekton or someone like his Soundshell Charge afterwards. That's going to be fun. We might see some full channel cat ults.
Oh, man. So I like that setup, the Black Shield and the composition here from both teams, on top of the Wukong ultimate.
Yeah.
They're looking for the wombo combo for team fighting up against this early game aggression team.
Yeah.
So Reason Gaming might look to actually split push and try to make some advantage.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's a Shen.
You cannot split
so
push.
You can't split push against that.
No.
So a lot of cards on the table here, and everybody's still sorting it out. Like, all right, Reason Gaming, we're going to have Shen split pushing against our Renekton.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are we going to do with that? Renekton's going to have to jump into the team fights, let Shen push. But then if you team fight, you're up against a wombo combo team, and you're sieging.
Yeah.
So.
But the one matchup I think works well for Reason is kind of by default Renekton wins early game, and they've got Elise instead of Wukong in the jungle. I think it's very possible for Reason to win top lane so hard that Renekton can keep the shove going, and the team can rotate into Shen's lane and just push his turret down. And there's never really any real pressure from the Shen coming back from Kubon. So I think you can actually snowball top lane as Reason. I think all the lanes are actually snowballable.
Yeah.
So I want to see how that plays out.
And I want to reiterate that these teams played each other in the round of 8, and it was pretty much Trashy from start to finish with almost a 13 KDA if you round it up. And I love that ward start. He started with the green ward in his inventory.
Yeah.
Sees all that, gets all the info. Now they're going to set up for it. And remember, they have a pretty early game team here.
This is so good by Mousesports. I feel like they researched this. They went through Tribrush, went through the ward, and immediately all recalled.
Wow.
The amount of mind games these guys have. Reason knew the top lane pick of Diana was coming, banded it out. Mousesports know, and this isn't necessarily Reason specifically, but a lot of teams will ward their Tribrush because Tribrush is the one brush that you can get skill shot over the wall from easily.
Yeah.
Like top side or bottom side. The rest of the general standing spots are pretty easy to like see him coming. So Tribrush is a common ward spot. And now Mousesports are going to be like, wait for the invade.
Yeah.
And it's not coming.
And beansu is sitting here saying, I have to back now or else I won't make it to lane on time. If it is just a standard 1v1 lane, and I'm Renekton, I have to get that early game advantage and start pushing it. So leaves them all, and they're all pretty much petrified in that bush. They're still sitting there. They're waiting for this.
Yeah, but Mousesports are going to get the early lane push. So the thing is, they're going to have level 2 first for sure, which is a pretty big lead to have in the 2v2 lane. Especially against Caitlyn, who normally is such a good pusher early on.
Sencux just throws a bomb just in case into that left
Worth it.
bush.
It's worth checking
It's
it.
definitely worth it. Any vision thing. And now they see everybody's in the lane. They're like, oh, now we have to get there. They fooled us. How did they leave? They backed.
Yeah. Ultimately, it just manifests in Mousesports having the quick early game push. Ooh, a nice hook's going to land, but the hook onto Mockler as well. A lot of damage back and forth. The Torrent Shield opening for Morgana. Libic just happy to take damage. He doesn't care too much.
And BarneyD has exhaust.
Ooh.
So if they go for a full-on fight there, he's going to just have to get into range. Use it to ignite. Actually give it a little bit of an edge in the early on. Exhaust is more useful, the more powerful the person is.
Yeah. And look at the Trinket Ward usage as well. Only one Trinket's been used so far this entire game, because once the early wards went down and you where the jungler started, there's no reason to look for a gank until at least 3 minutes in, when junglers typically get both their buffs, and then the Trinkets come down and say, okay, where the gank's going to come from.
Oh,
Good dodge.
I like that. BarneyD knows how to play the Thresh. You wait for a minion to die right in front of you, and as it's dying, you throw out the hook, and you have to coordinate with your AD carry to pull that off.
Yep.
Because it takes like a quarter, like a fraction of a second for the enemy to realize that minion's dead, that's no longer a safe zone for me.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Blitz walking up to a lane, killing it with his R, and then throwing out his hook immediately.
Yeah.
There it is. Telegraphed.
Yeah, good Black Shield. Libic knows about it. Made it happen. Zero loss. Actually, Black Shield does cost less than Hook, so mana advantage for Libic.
Whew.
The plays.
Both junglers are hanging off on the side here. D4's coming out. The Sencux.
Wow, the early damage coming in, forcing the WA.
Hanging to
Trashy's on
Trashy.
the wall. Oh, big damage
Ooh.
onto KonDzi. Forced to jump over. There comes the repel.
He
But
wants
Trashy
it.
wants the damage. 1Q to go. Flashes, takes the kill. First blood. The
he's gonna
damage
die.
comes through. TakeFun gets it back with double buffs.
The flash there from Trashy to close the distance, I'm not sure if that was necessary, because the flash was already used by Ko.
Yeah, KonDzi.
So, yeah. KonDzi? Yeah. I was shortening it. Kanoki is what he... Kanoki,
Yeah.
KonDzi. KonDzi
Gotta call him KonDzi
had
here.
already flashed go over the wall, then he repelled after him. And I don't think that flash was necessary. He was about to have his Venomous Bite back off a cooldown, which does close the distance for you.
Yeah.
Then when he flashed too far forward, he didn't have it to get out away from the Katarina and took a tower shot that an extra tower shot that he probably shouldn't.
True. So now we basically have to say, okay, what's worth more, the extra 100 gold for first blood or the double buffs on Katarina?
Yeah.
And to me, probably the worst double buff mid laner is probably Katarina, but still, it's something to keep in mind. There's going to be extra chase potential there if TakeFun gets in on Sencux.
I'm trying to think of a worse double buff mid laner. I was about to say Yasuo, but I'm like, nah, he gets a lot out of the red.
Yeah.
He doesn't get anything out of the blue, though.
I mean, he gets... Yeah, he gets basically
Q-
nothing.
Q
He
is
gets wind
effective,
walls. He gets more wind walls.
Yeah.
It kind of matters. TakeFun, 10 CDR for the buff. Kills minions fast, almost gets the damage in from Libic. Just the harass coming through. Doran Shield Morgana, though, is pretty durable. But I got to point out, a minion kill lead here is pretty sizable right now for a reason. 10 minions among the AD carries.
Yeah, and the fact that neither of the supports started with a gold generation item, typically Morganas will almost always go for the Spell Thieves level 1 to get that extra edge. He goes for the Dorans because he knows he's going to take some harass from Krislund. It's a good choice by him. And also at the same time, BarneyD is going for that Sightstone early so he can start sweeping vision and allowing gank from Trashy to come in earlier.
Yep. And of course, you know, the problem is Trashy's been looking for round 2. Walks by a ward, actually a couple of them. So Mousesports knows he's over by the Wraith camp. Trashy waiting around. I don't think he's quite in vision where he stands.
Trashy likes to fight. He
really
loves to fight. He's always making a play. He's always going somewhere. You never see him just sitting back farming the jungle. He's either counter jungling, taking away some gold, or he's making a gank. They see.
Yep, KonDzi doesn't walk through the brush. Early pink ward comes down from Reason to help watch for the gank path, and you can see that they back off from this one pretty safely.
Yep. And that means Trashy, he's going to go counter jungle the golems.
It was a good choice. Could take the Wraiths too if he wanted, but didn't want to get stabbed away by TakeFun. Once again, Wukong walks by a ward. Very unfortunate. Trashy going to be okay here. KonDzi doing the same sort of play right here. Warding offensively into the enemy jungle. I mean, both these teams are trying to get vision on the junglers in their own territory to track rotations.
He walked by it again.
Yep. Their time, not the charm.
See, that's the thing, is when you place that pink ward down, you have to go immediately there and place it so that the enemy never knew that you had a pink ward in your inventory.
Yes.
You can't walk into lane and then be like, okay, I'm going to walk to the right and place a pink ward, because they saw you place it. They're not dumb.
Yeah, they saw it's gone from inventory. They knew where you were last.
Yeah.
Well, Krislund, though, 52 to 43 in minutes in the bottom lane. BarneyD helped him out with this one. Barney will have a small edge, I guess, in the item game against Libic because his Sightstone will only cost him 400 gold now. Libic has to invest 800 to get his item here. So we'll see when the AD carries back up for items. Nice harass from TakeFun. Sencux. Why do Ziggs do that? They put the satchel charge forward and then run to it.
I don't know.
I see so many Ziggs do that.
Instead of on top of himself.
Yeah.
And he had a pretty good angle, too. He probably could have knocked Katarina out of that.
For sure he would have.
And
big harass.
Something that I actually never talked about was TakeFun took teleport. So he's looking to get to those side lanes and pressure them. But also this gives them even more global map pressure. Shen, Katarina with teleport.
Yeah.
You can make it a 5-on-2 bottom very, very quickly. And then go pressure Dragon. You give up some more of the map, but then you can be like, all right, it's bottom time, like ARAM, let's go.
Absolutely, yes. We're going to see if Mousesports can make the map rotation plays. quick wave through in the mid lane. TakeFun going to kill off the minions, but his TP is up. His wave is dead. And it's actually Sencux forced back right away. So, going to see how much time he needs to spend on this one. KonDzi, though, unfortunately walking on a ward. And Trashy coming for the counter gank pretty soon.
Yeah. KonDzi wasted a lot of time up there.
Yeah.
He has Cyclone available to him, so he wants to use that on somebody. And his CS is good. Trashy is a little bit in the lead in terms of kills, because he actually got that one for himself, so his gold's up a bit. But in the overall, slight CS advantage here for Reason Gaming, mostly from that bottom and top lane. Middle lane's been actually quite even despite a melee Katarina up against this auto attack harass Ziggs.
Yeah, TakeFun's playing it very aggressively. He's maxing Q, so anytime he sees kind of an opening, he can jump in and deal a trade to Sencux, and then kind of back off if he needs to. It's working quite well in the 1v1. I'm always a fan of Katarina players and how they play the matchups. Anytime you have a melee versus ranged matchup in general, you actually have to play it very aggressively and punish every harass that you can. Correct. If you just take hits, you'll fall behind.
You have to punish it correctly, too.
Yeah.
If you overextend too much, you're going to take too much harass on your way out, and if you're not enough of a threat. So if you look at his item build right now, he bought the Sork shoes so he can get rid of some of the MR from the Chalice, and then he buys a Negatron cloak to negate some of the damage that he'll be taking on the way out from bouncing bombs. And that ward has been there for so long.
Number of champions seen by that ward, number of... Okay. He's all right. He's fine. Got the ward jump.
Spun a bit for fun, too.
Short enough cooldown. No big deal. Yeah, Sencux getting a little bit of a push lead now in this one. Makler taking some damage as well.
Ow.
Does not have a Vamp Scepter. They both went... Oh, the flash ulti coming in. Can they find much? The double stun gonna land. Here comes Shen ulti. Big damage to Chres, but they're gonna go for BarneyD on this one. The taunt comes through as well. Big damage. Kill picked up by Kubon. Nice play.
And then they're going to go straight for the dragon. This is that 4-on-2 play that I was talking about. They're going to go ahead and have TakeFun in the mid. Teleport still available to him. Renekton in the top. He'll get some free farm. That's fine. He's Renekton.
The Sencux is coming down. So he's kind of got the inside track and puts the damage in. TakeFun didn't follow him down the lane. Ooh. So Mousesports are forced back. It's just a kill for a lot of pressure relieved top lane.
Yeah, and Kubon actually is now down almost 30 CS. He's at that 22 mark. And beansu, he has the Tiamat, so he'll just clear this wave instantaneously, and he can go anywhere that he wants to. Now, Kubon, he knows he doesn't have the Stand United available. He can go ahead and proxy this wave, go dirty farm it, get more damage on this turret if he wants to. He could actually walk up and just kill it, tank the turret even if he gets taunted. But the question is, does he want to kill the turret now? Or, because once you do that, you have to push up even further as Renekton. Against the Shen. So he's going to just leave it alive and just continue his CS advantage.
Makler going for a bit of damage here. W comes down. Ah, just the lantern.
Oh,
TakeFun. TP to a ward. Couldn't find the kill for the team, though. So, half of this is working for Mousesports. The shuttle did pay off for a kill. The cat TP did not. You've got a pretty big window now where TakeFun has no teleport.
Yeah, and one of the reasons that they weren't able to get the dragon previously is that Kubon had so much pressure top lane, he actually backed. And had to walk to that lane, or else he would have lost the turret.
Yeah.
And more waves, and just even more gold. So, 500 gold lead for Reason Gaming right now, just by these CS numbers in these lanes. And now in the overall, in all lanes, advantage.
Trashy snuck in to the middle brush right.
They pinged him.
Oh, they did. You're right. He didn't sneak in.
Not as sneaky as he thinks.
Apparently not. Oh, he's going to look for it anyway. He's going to wait in the front brush. We'll see if the lane pushes out. Now, Kubon does very well. He freezes in front of it.
They definitely saw him. That is the cue for them to go for Dragon. They know Snow Smite is available.
Ooh, but a lot of damage still comes through onto Mousesports. Sencux just so good at harassing over the wall. In a 3v4, they stop Baron, or Dragon.
And now they're going to get a turret for it. And they have to answer with a Dragon, but they're not going to.
They can't.
Yeah. And that was a good play by Reason Gaming. I love Sencux just getting them in the pit, harassing them down, and dissuading them from even continuing damage on it. It's not worth the risk. And now beansu, up 30 CS over his lane opponent. He can go ahead and start roaming around the jungle, making it his own, and Trashy's right there with him. They're going to start warding this up, start stealing buffs and camps.
It's going to be KonDzi looking for it. Smite's going to come through for Trashy. The knockup's going to come in, though. He's going to finally get them both into the air, but beansu.
Oh, they're walking towards Katarina.
He's going to get over the wall. He's going to be all right. Katarina on the wrong side of it. KonDzi flashes over. Doesn't quite have the damage for beansu to go down. Does he get enough damage? Q comes out. One more dash and he'll kill him. Gets it with the decoy and the jump in. There's a kill. 3-1 Mousesports.
Sencux actually used his satchel charge there to go ahead and interrupt TakeFun's ultimate. Down bottom.
And the stand unit is about to come up as well. Will they have the damage exhaust there onto Makler? But BarneyD just not going to survive this one. Krislund now taking damage. There's the barrier and the Shen. Can he get into range with him? Flashes in. There's the net coming out. And he's got nowhere to go. There's the binding. There's the damage. Krislund goes down as well. Double kill to Makler.
And now the gold is even. But here comes Trashy. He's so aggressive. Is he going to get it?
Goes for the AD carry. Still has red buff. Taunted far away. Kubon, good damage. Will he dive it? Lands it successfully. The flash, the Q will kill him. Just the auto attack. Kubon. Wow, 6-2 now, Mousesports.
Just a Sunfire Cape. 2-0-2 on that Shen. A lot of map pressure, but now it's even in gold still. Despite the 4 kills going over to Mousesports, 1 turret in favor of Reason Gaming. And here's the thing, is you have to, like, kills are all nice, right? You have to transition them into objectives, and that's where the majority of gold will come from. Sencux, he's going after TakeFun.
He just takes the fight back to TakeFun. 400 health, 100 health, one more Q will do it. KonDzi, can he get the damage? Oh, the Q lands. Good damage from Wukong, though. Flash over the wall. Sencux, satchel as well. Nicely played.
Wow, if he had missed that bouncing bomb, it would not have been worth the chase. Very good. I like the placement there, because he threw it a little bit to the right of the wall, and Katarina's stuck between a bomb and a wall.
So you never walk by a wall against skill shot champions. There we go, 14 minutes in. Pink ward finally goes down. Motorsports has to wonder how long it's been there. Dragon levels up. You saw that on your screen. And there's the lantern. Oof. Splits the uprights. No dark binding there, but you can see a 500 gold lead for Reason Gaming. They're up ever so slightly in globals, but down 3 kills. Mousesports have been making some good plays, just not capitalizing on them too much.
Now, KonDzi starting up the blue. He's going to give it to himself most likely. And now, Reason Gaming, 5 men strong in the Dragon. They're set up for this. No Stand United available for Kubon. He's going to have to walk.
No teleport either for Cat if you wanted it, but Mousesports are squaring off on this side of the map, and Kubon has actually come down and walked into the hook. Ooh, TakeFun taking a bunch of pain. Good black shield. But here comes the Wukong ulti as well. beansu not in a good spot. Rooted up. He's going to go down, trading 1-for-1 right there. It's going to be killed for TakeFun. Sencux got nowhere to go. Stunned up as well. Do they have the damage? Oh my gosh, in the backlines. Huge pain coming out. Sencux, 1 hit from dead, does go down. Reset for TakeFun. Jumps to a teammate to throw a Q out. Another 2-for-1. Mousesports really good at fighting here.
That was a fantastic black shield, and you talked about Livic before the game. You're like, oh, this guy's a really good player. He is. That was fantastic. Black shield was right on point. His ultimate, even though multiple tethers were broken, he's like, Sencux is worth it. I'm going to put my body all the way up there just to root Sencux, and they pays off. They pick him up. I like that aggression there. But still even in goal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Mousesports just are getting kills, and they're actually giving up a little bit of pressure on the mid lane. This might go down. And just to talk about individual players here, I mean, Trashy, 3-2-0.
Yes. He's
got 75% kill participation, pretty much equal deaths across the team anyway. He's pretty much holding up his end of the bargain. For Mousesports, the 2 best performing players on the team throughout the entire summer split, as well as here, are Kubon and Makler. They have always been rocks for the team, and you're seeing that still. 100% kill participation, only 1 death, sorry, not 100%.
It's close.
3/4 kill participation.
35.
And 1 death between them. Still great play for these guys.
It's the same thing with Livic, though.
Yeah.
He's also stepping up to the plate, and he's doing a little better than Makler. He didn't die.
Yeah. Perfect support score, 0-0 in anything. 10 CS, unfortunate, but you know what? It's okay.
Probably got some of that trying to push the wave.
Yeah.
But regardless, Dragon goes over to Mousesports there. Now they're in the lead by 1K gold. 2 turrets in the favor of Reason Gaming. They picked up that mid, and Mousesports made a great rotation picking up that Dragon pretty much effortlessly. I like their positioning. I like their zone control, and the fact that they're keeping toe-to-toe with this early game composition of Reason Gaming might spell disaster for them in the late game, because Mousesports have this wombo combo and the global map control, which they have been using perfectly to the T. The teleport, the Stand United, the AoEs here, and the Black Shield. Mousesports looks really good. They look a lot better than they did previously when they played in the round of 8 versus Reason Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, they've overall picked up 2 great players for the roster in the last few months. I think KonDziSan especially has been doing at least a little bit better than Makata has been. Jukes back around, doesn't quite find the opening he wants, but 84 CS on Wukong. Actually getting a bit of a minion lead over Trashy here. Gotta say, that's actually pretty relevant here. Level 10 on both these guys, but a good set of items here. He's going to be going into tank Wukong. probably Randuin's next for him. See where he goes.
And Trashy loves to just gank and walk around the map. So having a CS advantage over him isn't a huge surprise, but here comes Libic from the back line. There's going to be a Stand United.
Stand United comes in on a Wukong. Libic actually dodges the flay. Dark Bunny's going to land on a BarneyD. This is the entire team grouped up together.
They retcon it. He decides not to go. And now they're chasing Libic down.
Oh, Libic on the wrong side of the tracks here. Trashy and TakeFun in a bit of a fight, though. Trashy not where he wants to be. He has to pull his team back to defend him. But huge damage comes through. One hit from dead. Red buff takes through. KonDziSan gets it with Lizard Elder red buff. Nice play.
There was too much chase onto Libic there. Ends up using the ace in the hole. Doesn't get the kill. And so Krislund not involved in that fight. It was a 4-on-4. But if you get the support out of the fight for the AD carry, the sustained damage, it's definitely a worth chase there.
Absolutely, and of course the jungler going down relieves a lot of pressure on the map that Reason could have had otherwise. Elise, such a good early champion. KonDziSan knows he's on the wrong side of the map, but still wants to pressure for this blue buff. Just you can see how he has no ward coverage, so he doesn't greed for it. He knows Renekton and Thresh could lock him down, says, you know what, never mind. The safe play there from KonDziSan.
Yeah, he knew that Trashy was down, so he was like, all right, I want to invade the jungle, but let's not get greedy.
Yep.
It's a good restraint there. He wanted to try and shut down Sencux, who's been having a pretty good game in terms of CS.
Yeah.
And both these teams neck and neck, despite the kills being in favor of Mouse. But I have to say, Reason Gaming's rotations are good.
Yeah.
Only problem here is they haven't been transitioning the kills. Oh!
Okay, good damage coming through. Black Shield in from Libic. Can he get around the minefield? Does not land the binding.
The lantern was in the wall. He couldn't make it there.
He didn't cast it far enough, but the damage coming through too much. BarneyD gets the kill credit. TP comes in from Katarina. Shen's there as well. Nothing for Mouse Sports. So a little bit greedy there from Libic, honestly. Without any support, goes into enemy jungle. Doesn't make it happen here. So Mouse Sports, though, their team is all about playmaking, right?
Yeah.
The Stand United from Shen, the teleporting from Katarina, they're constantly looking for these random plays to make to get in on their opponents.
Unexpected, too. That's the thing, is it's going to take you by surprise.
It has.
And Libic's been setting this up, too. He's like, I'm going to come from the back line and cause panic and havoc in the middle of your team.
Yeah.
Try to root them up, and that's what he was trying to do there, was try and converge. And it's like, oh, look at this. We have 3 people on this one guy, and Morgana's behind you to cut off your escape. You can always just use his soul shackles and slow them down and allow his team to catch up. But 500 gold between these two teams, again, it just keeps going back and forth just within this 1,000 gold difference. Very, very even, and huge like improvement here for Mouse Sports. They have been playing with TakeFun for longer now, and having him synergize. And I like the Katarina. It's a little unorthodox from what we typically see in the mid lane. And we're gonna have to see if he can get those full channels off. The Black Shield is there to help. I love this composition in the overall here.
Yeah, I want to see how it keeps playing out, because Reason Gaming, I feel like if they get into a dedicated 5-on-5, just like a straight up sort of siege push situation, I think they're in better shape than these sort of random 2v3s, 2v4s that keep happening around the map. So as the laning phase breaks down, we'll see where Reason Gaming goes. 20 minions only in the top lane. At this point, 20 minions behind Renekton at 21 minutes is pretty much fine. At this point, Kubon's escaped the laning phase successfully. He's surviving. He's in a good spot right now. TakeFun also has escaped the laning phase pretty successfully. 2-1-2. Abyssal Scepter is done. Going for a Deathfire Grasp next, which I like a lot as well. So a lot of burst comes out from that item. He can get a reset off of the squishy in the back lines. And now we just play the waiting game. You see, okay, Reason, I feel like they're the team that needs to make moves if they want to get ahead here. Otherwise, Mouse Sports can sit there in the laning phase and just teleport into battles.
Oh, yeah. And I like the fact that you're talking about the playmaking, you were talking about the numbers advantage there, like 3v2, picking people off. Mouse Sports baits you into a fight, make you think that it's a 2-on-2.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, here are my buddies. They're like mice. There's more than you think there.
More than 3, and none of them blind.
Nope, no Elise in this game. Banned away.
Nope.
So blind monk for the mice.
Nope. Don't need him.
So Dragon's going to be the next point of contention here, and Mouse Sports is perfectly content with getting there first. Even though Sencux is on the field on that Ziggs, they don't mind the poke. They say, we're going to burn it down. Also, if you engage us, Cyclone, Death Lotus.
Yeah. There's a really good combo available. Mouse Sports do have a nice mix of AoE teamfight, but also of counter-engaging. See if this pans out in the rest of the time. Reason Gaming do want to play for this. All 5 members are here for Dragon. Will they pull the Mouse Sports rotation? Looks like the recall from TakeFun, just the top lane siege. So Dragon for top outer turret's going to come through for Reason. That is a gold lead for them. Actually, yeah, top outer turret did just go down. Kubon Still getting some free farm. He's up to level 14. He's actually out-leveling beansu's Renekton now. This Renekton pick might not be paying off.
Yeah, it's because he's been involved in so many kills and assists, whereas beansu just been involved in a lot of deaths.
BarneyD with a hook steals away the big race. That was nice.
100% more swirly.
I mean, like, it's significantly swirly now, I gotta say. I like the new particle for that.
It's a good buff.
Yeah. So much stronger now. For the casters especially, we can see it.
And now, see, Morgana Libic's like off on the side, not even near his team. He's not on peel duty. He's on engagement / retreat, like cutting them off.
Oh, KonDzi on top of a ward, gets spotted out. Puts a ward over the wall as well. Yep, he's not happy about this one. And it's weird that Libic's used as the engage tool, but he has to be. Like, it's so hard to force it with Wukong or Shen that it's basically submarine Morgana.
Exactly. If you come from the back and you soul shackle them, where are they going to run? They have to run through you, and then they'll get stunned, or you blow up Morgana as fast as you possibly can.
But with a Shen, that's hard.
Exactly. And then Trashy, I mean, not Trashy, Kanoki comes in from the front with the Cyclone. And
here they go.
Here it is, Submarine.
Wukong flashes over the wall, jumps in, they get 2 with it. See if they can get any more damage. beansu in the front line, though, is a tanky man. There's the Morgana ult. He looks for beansu. They're going to get no stun coming through. Honestly, no real damage on the engage. TakeFun still has ulti, doesn't use it on anyone.
The disengage from Reason Gaming was on point right there. They only let the Cyclone hit 1-2 people. The Morgana ulti only got Renekton for like a fraction of a second. He just sliced away from that, and he was fine. And now they can continue the siege.
And they're going to get a lot of damage in this turret. They could take it down. In fact, it looks like they will. Mousesports are going to give up the chase. Reason Gaming spent 3 flashes for 1 to get out of that one. So you figure in the next like 3 to 4 minutes, Mousesports could try again without those flashes. But in the meantime, those Summoner spell cooldowns did give Reason the team fight win and the mid turret.
Yeah, it seemed a really forced engagement there.
Yeah.
Without the proper positioning. But the flashes, of course, put a wrench in that plan, even if they had the positioning on top of it. And you can see here a lot of gold in the hands of Makler, who has not spent it yet.
8,600, highest gold in the game. You see 300 gold for the top laner as well for Kubon, but honestly in a close game, you can see where all the money's really spread out. The saving grace for Mousesports, as you identify, is the AD carry, and the rest of the team is kind of there to set him up.
And he's not really involved in the Wombo combo for the most part. He does have AoE damage that he can throw into the fight, but he's not going to be a priority target. You'd be sitting there saying, all right, we have to kill Morgana before the Soul Shackles get off. We have to interrupt Katarina. What are you doing about Lucian? Almost nothing. You had to pretty much catch him out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Trinity Force is done for Makler, so 2 big items and starting on the Last Whisper. I'm actually surprised to not see Xerxes come through for Lucian, but let's see if Kuma can outplay the 1v2. He's got kind of nowhere to go. Teleport is up for TakeFun. Looks like they're not going to pull him over for this one. Instead, they're going to try to buy time to make plays elsewhere. He's pulling 3 people to the top side of the map. Elise heading over as well. The rest of Mousesports going down the mid lane with Lucian pushing in the bottom. Kubon, though, now out of energy.
Trash is coming in from the side. He gets Libic.
Oh, that is not good for Morgana. Flayed in the background, forced a flash away, but there comes the knock up there. 2 men from Wukong. The spin from TakeFun doesn't do much thanks to the exhaust. Damage comes down on a KonDziSan even still, and they're trying to make more happen. Krislund jumping in. He's doing what he can. The decoy comes out. KonDziSan goes for BarneyD. Not going to matter. Gets taken down. Now, Kubon does escape because the rest of the team went to go help in the mid lane fight, but it's still a -1.
And they got double buffs out of that instead of a Shen.
Yeah.
So a little bit of an influx there in buffs going to Reason Gaming. Now they're going to push up the mid. And Ziggs, he does decent damage to this with his passive. You have the Caitlyn, you have the Elise. They're going to get this turret. Not an inhibitor, but now it's an open option for them at any time.
So Reason Gaming now 27 minutes in, still down in kills, but up 1,600 gold. They found the way in is team fights. It's, hey, catch the Shen out. He's the global. You gank the global. You don't gank with the global on the other side of the map. They put him down. They got the counter engage they wanted in the mid lane. A great hook to start things out to force onto Libic. Reason Gaming with the 5v5s are doing well.
I don't know if that was exactly a 5v5. It was kind of a trickle in on a 3v3. Yeah, I gotcha. Kubon, he's trying to put pressure on here and coming around the back. Look at how little damage he takes.
Not very much.
No,
full tank. Sunfire into Warmogs.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, on Shen it does. He has 2 health scalers.
One of them is damage.
Yeah.
His passive, his key strike, he does more damage based on his HP, bonus HP. So he's actually a little ridiculous now when he fights beansu, and he'll heal more too.
Yeah.
Off of his
heals teammates more too.
Warple Blade. Yeah. Based on theirs.
Based on Shen's health.
It's Shen's?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Everyone heals based on Shen's health, so he actually is a better healer with a Warmox. Doesn't mean too terribly much, but it's something. It'll help Makler more than anyone. A little more life back in these fights. We'll see.
I was just thinking about Shen in Earth mode. I want to go dash everywhere.
Man, you would move.
Throw blades.
You'd have permanent shield as well. Your W would always be on.
Your feints, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's probably not as crazy as Hecarim. That one's ridiculous.
Hecarim is super
Hecarim
silly.
is so much fun. You're like a baton twirler the entire time. Anyway.
So would Katarina.
Yeah.
She jumped everywhere. The recess would fully reset her ulti too. 1 kill, new ult.
All right, so Dragon's up in 5 seconds here. Nobody's really poised to take it. There aren't as many wards in that area. Mousesports has a little bit of an advantage, and they're trying to catch out Krislund right here. But they see Sencux and Trashy coming in from the back with that ward that they had previously. So they're going to go ahead and... Wow. So yeah, Dragon goes over with no contest here.
Yeah.
To Reason Gaming.
Well, Mousesports have kind of lost control. They're the team that wants to make plays and rotate around the map. But the problem is the only wards they really have are the ones from Libic. So they have, I think, pretty low vision. And they're not really able to make constant plays. So I'm wrong about the wards, by the way. There's like 5 other ones on the map. But like, they've lost the ability to like jump in and turn these fights around. They're not as present for these objectives. And so, you know, when they're not the one forcing the plays, they're kind of like, well, I don't want to ult into this. And they're kind of rolling over right now.
So TakeFun picked up a Seeker's Arm Guard.
Yeah.
Afraid of the AD damage here. Only Sencux is the only AP threat, so he's building his resistances up. Don't know if that'll be a Zhonya's or if we get the DFG first, because he had the Fiendish Codex. Or he could be a man after my own heart and get Banner's command.
Yeah, there you go.
That's my favorite.
It's good at him.
In Libic, he's still looking for these side ganks. And it's forcing Reason Gaming to ward, kind of like if you were against a Fiddlesticks. Oh, it's so close.
Almost. It's okay, mid lane siege, here we go. Reason, they have all 5. Mousesports, they've actually pulled Shen into the base instead of splitting on the top. This is the ideal situation for Reason, because the Shen is just wasted right there. The teleport from TakeFun, wasted right here.
You've nothing for that. Exhaust up for BarneyD, so if TakeFun does get in, he's immediately going to get exhausted. And really, I'm going to say it again, Makler, he's like down the totem pole as like the 3rd priority target. So most of the damage from this fight is most likely going to be coming from him if he's left alone. But if he gets picked off, definitely the squishiest person on the field.
Let's see what these guys can find.
And this is just the siege up from Reason Gaming that I assumed would happen eventually.
Yeah.
31-minute mark. It's a little late for it, but they do not have a turret there for Mousesports. But here comes Kubon from the back. They see him too.
All right,
they know he's coming.
Engage. Can he find much? Gets a 2 to 3 man taunt. Trashy taking some damage in the backline. Sencux, Krislund both forced away. Ziggs bomb hits a lot, and Libic forced to take the penalty. KonDziSan in the front lines, taking some good damage. Exhaust on the cat takes her down. No kills still picked up. They still look for the engage, and Krislund will go down. Makler trying to clean up. Can Sencux go down? Barrier, Black Shield use. He does not chase through. 1-for-1 fight, actually. 80 carry for mid laner.
That exhaust coming out there stopped a lot from TakeFun. He would have gotten multiple resets. Look at how low everybody is. If he had killed somebody a little sooner, would have been reset, boom, boom, boom. Everybody's getting dropped. That's BarneyD pulling his weight at Champion Select and knowing what he wants to bring to the table and how to play this matchup as
absolutely.
So, big tactical decision there by him. And then the Stand United was used on Morgana to get him out.
Yeah.
Saved his life. And then Makler, like I said, he's doing the brunt of the damage.
Yeah.
In that. He ended up getting the kill onto Krislund, and it looked like he might have wanted to continue that pursuit on the Sencux, but just the Hexplosive Minefield is too much to walk.
Yeah. There's one thing I don't like about Mousesports, actually. Is as much as Black Shield Katarina is good, they've never really gotten to use it.
Yeah.
What I like, if they had a Leona, because the problem is Libic can't participate in fights. When he goes in, he gets hit right away. He's forced to Black Shield himself a lot of the time. He takes the standard editor from Shen half the time, meaning that Kubon leaves the fight at that point. And so Libic is having very little impact actually in fights, less than you would expect. Whereas if he was like Leona or Annie or something, able to actually help engage fights, lock them down, so they don't have to like force this awkward Shen or Wukong engage, they can actually set up Katarina much more successfully.
Yeah, and he bought the Zhonya's Hourglass now, so he can put himself at risk, be a little safer, but of course your ulti doesn't channel through it.
Yeah.
And I would be More interested to see Livic have one. And look at that. They tried to force the engage there. Both Talisman of Ascensions popped.
And we'll see. Just going to be the disengage. TakeFun. No big deal. Jumps to a ward. It's going to give him a little bit of reduced damage taken while he takes the Kate ulti. No big deal. Let's see where we go with this one. Got a quick reconnect. No big deal. He's back in real life. Don't worry about it. We used to move on 5v5 in this one. TakeFun, Livic, Mockler. Waiting around. Let's see where we can go with this one. Ward control right now is here for Reason Gaming. They've got the pink ward in the brush in front of Baron as well as the one in the Baron pit itself, meaning that they can actually guaranteed set up a bait.
Look at how little damage he takes.
So getting knocked around a bit though. KonDziSan looks for the engage. 3-man knock of the Dark Binding on a beansu as well. Ziggs ulti hits a couple. Livic, look at that. 2 overextended. He pops the ulti, has to run away. Ignite is on. He will fall, making it a 1-for-1 though. Top laner for support. KonDzi now forced away. Pops the decoy. Nowhere to go. He's going to get taken down. 2-for-1 fight. The bombs into Mockler. 1 hit from dead. Sencux jumps forward. The Q.
Nope.
Krislund's ulti's up in about 6 seconds.
He wants the vision, and he can kill either of them.
Goes for Mockler. He's dead. Here we go. 2 members alive. Kubon and TakeFun only. Mid inhib will go down. Now can Reason take down Baron? Look at the ward coverage. 4 pink wards cover the Baron area and a smattering of green wards on the route in.
And Mousesports, they have it all concentrated on the right side. So they don't see this Baron. They're going to have to slowly ward up as they're entering, put one over the wall, put themselves at risk, where Reason Gaming will see them do it the entire way in.
Yep. Well, down to half HP right now. TakeFun wants the opportunity to come into this one. Gonna dodge the first set of bombs. Kubon, if he can set up a good taunt, they could get the kills in. They gotta look for something here. The taunt onto Krislund. The immediate flag and stop TakeFun mid ulti. Standard Net is gonna get him out of the fight. Taking a big bunch of pain.
Ooh.
Q comes down, picks up the kill and the Baron. A 4-for-1 overall. Plus Baron picked up Reason, huge lead.
And I want to jump back a bit to the engagement where Kubon brought them so far forward that KonDzi was able to get a great Cyclone. It looked like it was going to go in Mouse's favor, but there's just something about this composition that isn't pumping out the damage. The exhaust onto Katarina, Morgana's support is trying to get in there, and he's just getting burst out. He's not a good source.
Yeah.
And it's just falling short in comparison to Reason Gaming.
Morgana's not worked with the all-in comp. The thing is, they picked Morgana early, like alongside Shen, so they said like, okay, we need a very high damage mid laner. They like needed a high damage mid laner, but the thing is they needed a backline high damage mid laner.
Yeah.
You can't go like heavy frontline plus Morg because Morg will die. Which we're seeing from Livic, unfortunately. 2 deaths now. He's been having to take a bunch of shields in team fights. I think the Ziggs steal was super important from Reason Gaming. I think if TakeFun knew something like Syndra, that would have been fine. Even Heimer would have worked.
Yeah,
I feel like
they don't have a way to soften people up.
Yeah.
Before a fight, whereas Reason Gaming has 2 things at their disposal here. And Krislund, he's always been using his Ace in the Hole on cooldown, mostly onto TakeFun. He's saying when you get into the fight, you're going to be half HP as Cat, so I'm going to make you go ahead and blow your Zonias earlier than you would want to.
Well, it's going to be the push now onto the top lane though with Baron buff, with mid and Hib already dead. Reason now look for the top lane, most easily reached. Tier 2 turret already dead. Here comes attempt number 2 here. Big damage coming through for Krislund. Does take the binding though. Mouse gonna go in for this one. The taunt comes through. Doesn't do enough though. The stun to TakeFun. He's not in a good spot. Kill comes through to Sencux. Now Kubon set up in the front lines as well. Cooling not gonna do a whole bunch. KonDziSan trying to knock him around, but he's gonna flash away as well. Mockler now a little bit alone. Nice little black shield though from Livic, gonna keep him alive a bit longer. But top inhib turret goes down. Top inhib gonna go as well. +2 fight for Reason.
And Mousesports, they were holding toe all game long, but Reason Gaming were just getting objectives and pushing further up on the map, playing the ward coverage game too, and they are most likely going to end it right here.
Here we go, turret number 2 under siege. Baron buff still on top of them. 47 minutes, 10 seconds in. Morgana ulti from Livic, trying to keep his team alive. Hook won't land, but the Nexus now made available, and this will be game 1 of the quarterfinals, going to Reason Gaming right here. One more win, and they match NIP in the semis.
And here's something to note too, is that Reason Gaming previously beat Mousesports 2-0, and then they were 0-2'd by NIP.
Yeah.
So they might actually just be playing through the entire bracket again as if they were starting over from the series.
Yeah.
So, big shout-outs, though, to Mousesports on that one. Able to keep toe-to-toe with somebody who actually 2-0'd them last time for a pretty decently long game there.
Yeah, they made it really fun. I liked their team comp early game. The problem is I think a team like that doesn't work if you get behind.
Yeah.
I think you can get away with these weird anti-synergies because if you're ahead, you can just force the fact that Katarina's immune and Morgana can just be this weird like half peel support. But when you're behind, you need everyone to contribute 100%. You need everyone to use all their abilities, and Morgana could never ult in fights.
Yeah, and they kept grouping up for team fights because that's what Reason Gaming was doing.
Yeah.
And they had a teleport and a Shen ulti.
Yeah.
And we stopped talking about it by like 25 minutes into the game because they stopped using them.
Exactly.
It was basically, I'm going to Shen ulti somebody in the middle of the fight to give them a shield instead of using it as an engagement tool, using it to split push, using Katarina teleport. So the laning phase was really good in keeping them toe-to-toe. They were ahead in kills for a very long time on the side of Mouse Sports. But then those spells, they were just not using them to their full effect in the late game.
Yeah, they did not manage to just... Like, the way they should have stopped the siege was actually by splitting.
Yes.
And saying, deal with Shen, deal with Shen, deal with Shen. Keep dealing with Shen, you still can't. And creating pressure everywhere and keeping the aggressiveness going. Mouse Sports, unfortunately, could not do that. They succumbed to the siege. Of course, that was very well played by Reason overall. And I got to say, I think their champ select moves, grabbing the Ziggs, that was big. I think their ability to identify it, let's get the siege. And even then, to second that, they also did find the ganks onto Shen to bring Kubon down and say, oh, you push top lane, you don't have Stand United. They found him, forced him away, and they got to keep the siege going. They identified when to go for Baron properly. Their ward coverage was better. Like, every one of these little pieces was right for Reason.
And those puzzle pieces just add up to saying victory in the end for you. Because just from the start, like champion select, they pretty much forced TakeFun onto a champion that was not suited to their team composition in the overall.
Yeah.
Because it was last picked. He was hovering over Orianna for a bit. It was like, okay, that could work, right?
So low damage, though.
Orianna, you go ahead, shockwave people into the Cyclone.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd have to farm for a very long time against this early game comp, so it's risky. But I think the Katarina is just a huge gamble.
It is.
But they wanted the wave clear, even though she's melee wave clear. So
at that point, it's not wave
Orianna
clear.
would have done it better. Gragas would have done it better.
Yeah.
So
Gragas was banned, I think. Maybe not. No, maybe I'm wrong here.
I don't think so.
Then yeah, Gragas would have been a great choice there as well.
It was LeBlanc, Lee Sin, and somebody else.
And somebody else.
Somebody else.
Doesn't matter. We're going to figure that out one later. Don't worry about it. Guys smarter than us will tell us what it was. With game one behind us, we have to take a quick commercial break. And then we'll be right back with game two between Mouse Sports and Reason Gaming. Stick around. We've got more Challenger Playoff action right after this.